Fala galera, tudo bem com vocês? Espero que sim, porque comigo tá tudo bem. Hoje galera, eu vou ter que, eu tô fazendo esse vídeo aqui porque é muito importante e urgente também. E não ignore galera, porque é importante mesmo. Vamos começar galera, estão preparados? Então vamos lá, né?
Have you ever been in trouble for swearing? Probably,
Sim,
yes.
eu fui.
But have you ever been in trouble for greeting somebody?
Vocês tiveram problemas com isso, galera? Eu espero que não, porque isso seria ridículo. Vê essa cena, galera. Vocês vão ter pena do Harry até aqui, mano.
Morning, Henry. Morning.
Porque não é possível.
Wow. Being reprimanded for saying good morning. Henry's mum, you are evil incarnate. No wonder this amazing artist thinks that future Henry will send mum to the worst retirement home in history. This user writes, after years of abuse, he felt he had no choice. This good morning scene is horrible on first watch, but when you break it down, it gets even worse. Here's the opening shot.
Tá tudo normal, parece que tudo normal, galera.
Henry's hungry.
Só que, galera, lembre-se, não seja atraído pela facilidade da normalidade. Isso mesmo.
All is not as it seems. Let's watch a little more. Wait a minute.
Vocês viram isso, galera?
Zoom in on Henry because something
É verdade, tem realmente algo errado.
He's not excited for brecci anymore. He's scowling. Perhaps he's noticed the picture on the fridge.
Eu acho que a teoria dele tá toda certa o que ele falou nesse trecho aí, porque não é porque parece que é verdade, mano. Porque não é possível. Coitado do Harry depois disso. Mas isso vai ficar com mais pena ainda, galera. Só veja, galera.
This woman is a demon. No other word for her.
Verdade.
Demon. Imagine how bad this makes poor Henry feel. He must just think, what's the point? If he can't even greet his brother in a polite and cheerful way without being told off, then he must feel he can't do anything right. His self-esteem and sense of self-worth must be in the gutter. Hit like if you think that Henry deserves better parents.
Por favor, galera.
Look at the pain and anguish.
Galera, eu vou pausar aqui pra vocês verem a dor e a angústia no rosto de Harry. Galera, isso tá certo? Mano, eu acho que não. Mano, vou dar uns segundos pra vocês verem a reação, cara. Porque, mano, isso é completamente absurdo, mano. Coitado, mano. Sério, eu fiquei com pena do Harry. Agora eu quero ver se vocês estão com pena também. Por isso, não tá certo. Não está certo.
His own mother has reduced him to despair. Perhaps when grown-up Henry drops his mum off at the retirement home with its window view of garbage, he'll say, "This isn't an old folks' home. This is your own personal hell." Henry also feels total despair when he's dumped at a summer camp. This view of Henry in the rearview mirror is how Henry's mum sees her son after she's abandoned him. Yet, Henry's mum shows no sympathy for her son in such a vulnerable situation.
Galera, isso não é um show que fala sobre um menino horrível e é um menino e o nome dele perfeito. Esse show aqui de TV, show de TV, fala sobre duas crianças numa casa de abuso. E o Peter é vítima, galera. Sério, ele é vítima também.
Is simply appalling.
3 whole days without Henry.
So, she doesn't say 3 weeks without Peter.
Eu já percebi que a mãe de Harry não gosta muito da resistência de Harry. Sim, gosta quando ele desaparece. No episódio, galera. No episódio, galera. Eu não sei se vocês sabem, mas tem um episódio de aniversário do Peter. E comemora o desaparecimento que o pai fala: eu vou fazer esse menino esperto desaparecer e comemora. Margarete, Ralph olha com jeito... Vocês entendem, galera. Mas você sabe que é ruim quando a Margaret faz esse rosto. E o Ralph, né, o amigo de Harry, parece meio preocupado. Porque, tipo assim, ele é uma pessoa que... A única pessoa que liga pro Harry. E isso é sério, galera.
You know the expression, happy campers?
Eu também
I
não.
can't see a single smile. Henry notices this too. He's a smart kid.
Verdade.
And he realizes, wow, I need to get out of here ASAP.
Rápido possível.
Follow me. Not me. I'm going home.
We know the line that's going to come next. Take it away, fuming Francesca.
Oh, 3 whole days without Henry.
Don't you even think about letting silly Simon off the hook. He chips in too. Bliss. Silly Simon describes it as bliss to be spending time away from his son. I mean, why even have a son if you clearly hate him that much? This user imagines what Henry's mum would say to a grown-up Henry, writing, "You were born horrid. That's your birthright. And now you can fill your life with your projects, your songs and your concerts, and your little girlfriends, but it won't make you whole. You're horrid Henry, and there's no cure for that." What's that, Lucky? You wanna...
Agora, galera, eu vou finalizar o vídeo com isso aqui, porque, mano, eu não tô acreditando. É imperdoável isso aqui, sério.
Com o app da Amazon, você recebe notificações de ofertas incríveis e tem um universo fantástico de produtos na...
At least Horrid Henry's parents never physically assaulted him.
And if I find you...
At least Horrid
Verdade,
Henry's
pelo menos os
parents
pais
never
não...
physically assaulted him.
É verdade, não abusam fisicamente. Vocês vão entender o vídeo dele.
And you just know
Mas só
she's
presta
just
atenção,
about
ok?
to thump Henry before Henry's parents come to the rescue in the nick of time.
I'm going to take you apart limb by limb. Henry?
There are tons more incidents coming up like this, so stay tuned. If Horrid Henry's mum is a demon, then Horrid Henry's babysitter is the devil.
Essa babá.
This woman crosses lines that Horrid Henry's mum never crossed. The mum may have psychologically abused
É
Henry,
verdade.
yes, as I explored in my previous
Só que ela
video, but she
só
never
que
physically
ela não
hurt him. Horrid Henry and the
agrade
bogey
Harry.
babysitter also happens to be one of the most bizarre, quirkiest episodes in the
repreende
history
Harry.
of the show. So,
Como se
sit
ela
back,
tivesse
snipers,
zero
relax, enjoy.
direitos
The first time
humanos,
Henry is
galera.
physically attacked
Esse
by Rebecca
planeta.
is when she tosses him off the comfy chair, changes the TV channel without even saying a word to the poor boy. Rabid Rebecca, more like rude Rebecca. Like when she tosses the popcorn that Peter so kindly delivered onto the floor. Damn it, you got me feeling sorry for Peter now. It quickly though goes from rude to abusive when the two brothers start to dance together. Nothing wrong with that, you might think, but for some reason this triggers Rabid Rebecca. She picks up the boys by the scruff of their sweaters and holds them there, like they're dolls. I've never been grabbed by a gigantic bully up by the scruff of my shirt, and I'm genuinely sorry to anyone that has, but I've got to imagine that that's quite painful. The two brothers then get tossed to the floor, lying there in a crumpled heap, totally humiliated. Just a gentle reminder that this is in fact a kids' TV show aimed at 5 to 8-year-olds. Is this not normalizing abuse? Henry tries to scare Rebecca off, and admittedly he lives up to his horrid
Mano,
Henry
eu ainda
moniker.
me pergunto
As the
por
way
que
that
isso
he
tá
tries
no
to
ar
scare her
pras
off is
crianças,
to leave
mano.
the taps
Eu
running in
sério
turn
que...
flooding
Falar
the
nada,
house.
sério. Mano. Porque,
This
mano,
is naughty, but does he really deserve to be sprayed so powerfully with a shower head that he falls backwards into the toilet? Rabid Rebecca thinks he does. Horrid Henry has now had enough. He decides to join Perfect Peter, who's hiding in the cupboard under the stairs out of sheer terror, and decides to call the police on this abuser.
10 feet tall, teeth the size of icebergs.
He's not kidding, by the way. Just as a funny aside, the police force in the Horrid Henry universe must be the most efficient police force in the entire
só que eles não fazem o
universe.
trabalho.
Just look at how quickly they manage to arrive at Horrid Henry's house after the phone call is over.
And she's watching our TV right now. But that's Rebecca. She's not an intruder.
What a response time.
Focus. Speed.
Essa
I
polícia.
am speed.
The police may be fast, but they don't do their job. Rabid Rebecca remains. She's not just physically threatening, she's verbally threatening too.
Don't even think of moving from that bed, or you'll be sorry you were born!
What if Henry needs the toilet? This is confinement. It's another form of abuse.
Na verdade, ela faz muito abuso, mano.
Another really bizarre element of this episode
Ela
is these
realmente
gigantic
merece
spiders that
sair,
are just
ficar
wandering around
aí
Henry and
e
Peter's
ser
house like it's nothing.
Seriously
Henry na rua.
misunderstood creatures spiders are.
Galera,
Henry
dá
is smart and he
pelo menos, sei lá,
uses
uns 3
these
likes nesse vídeo.
giant
Se vocês
spiders as a
acham
way
que
to
Harry
scare
merece
Rebecca into making
fugir
her
de casa
leave them
pra ter uma vida
alone.
melhor.
That was huge!
Porque
Really
ficar
hairy
em
and
casa
horrible and wriggly!
Are we sure Henry's talking about the spider
de
here?
abusivos já é demais. Não dá.
Henry ends up locking Rebecca in the downstairs cupboard,
Eu
which
prefiro
I'm
ter
sure the
uma
writers
vida
intended as a way to
mais
show how
delicada
horrid
do que
Henry
isso, mano.
is.
Sério,
However,
se
I
eu
think
fosse o
Henry
Harry, já
actually
saía de
deserves
casa,
credit
mano.
for
Eu
doing
nem
this.
estaria
He managed to
no
keep
caso,
this
pra
vile
vocês
woman
terem
who's
ideia.
been abusing him and his brother physically, psychologically,
É
and
mesmo, o Harry
verbally,
merece
and he
mesmo.
managed to
Eu tenho
keep
que
her
concordar
away
com
from
ele
them,
mesmo,
in
cara.
turn ensuring his and Peter's physical well-being and safety. I wonder what Rebecca would do to Henry if she managed to get her hands on him after this incident. The fact that Henry's parents arrive means that Rebecca is reduced to just verbal threats.
Right, you little worm! I'm going to take you apart limb by limb!
Had they not been here, or had Rebecca managed to escape from the cupboard under the stairs before they returned, then Henry would have been torn to shreds. Make no mistake about that. Even horrid Henry's mum is sympathetic to his plight when she realises that Rebecca has been physically abusing Henry.
Oh, you poor things!
You may argue that Henry's mum, and indeed Henry's dad, should actually share a portion of the blame for this whole situation because they were the ones that hired Rebecca in the first place. They obviously even had some idea about Rebecca's reputation, as the dad, Silly Simon, defended Rebecca's behaviour management style to Henry, calling her strict.
She's horrible!
She's not horrible, just strict.
Here are the mother's comforting final words to Henry before she leaves him and Peter with this insane bully of a woman.
Remember, Henry, don't be horrid!
She's having a night out, and if that means her children get abused, so be it. You ain't stopping her.
I'm unstoppable.
Henry even recognizes the name Rebecca when he finds out that she is going to be the one babysitting him, which implies that possibly Rebecca has babysat him and Peter before on previous occasions, possibly even being physically abusive to them on those occasions too.
Not rabid, Rebecca!
I do understand people that say that...
Bom, galera, o vídeo foi esse. Mas, galera, amanhã eu vou... Pera aí, galera, eu prometo que eu vou finalizar dessa vez, galera. Desculpa o vídeo ficar louco, galera, mas é muito importante mesmo. Vocês têm que entender isso mesmo. E galera, esse vídeo não é só horrível, mas é mais horrível do que o mundo inteiro.
The worst thing I have ever seen horrid Henry's mum do. It is so shocking that I cannot believe it was even aired on children's television. It literally violates Henry's human rights according to the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. Here's the full clip.
Done for. What are you talking about, Mum? Never mind, Henry. Go to your room. Can I have my questionnaire back? No, go to your room now, Henry.
Literally violate international law. According to the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, children have a specific right to adequate nutrition, which is outlined in Article 24. This article states that children have the right to the highest attainable standard of health, which includes the right to nutritious food and clean drinking water. Remember, this is a mother that's prepared, as this user points out. Does anybody notice that sometimes, if he does something bad or does something to his brother, she says, "You can have your dinner in the morning"? You're really not supposed to starve your children. 2 comments feed at school because he's so hungry all the time. Henry even seems to realize that he's malnourished.
Galera, a frase que ele ia falar é... Talvez Harry não consegue focar na escola porque ele fica com fome todo o tempo. Isso é importante, galera. Então é isso. Muito obrigado por assistir até o final, galera. Sério mesmo.